There's a tangible air of anticipation in the room, which is great. Welcome back. I'd like to welcome everybody to this, the SPA's 102nd physical conference. Last time we met face-to-face was on the 27th of January, 2020. 6 weeks later, the world plunged headfirst into a pandemic that would threaten our very existence, curtail our freedoms, reprogram human behavior, and change the way we do business. Since then, the SPA has mobilized and delivered, as you've seen on the previous presentation, we've delivered 3 online conferences, delivered 3 virtual sales masterclasses, and hosted members' Zoom meetings every fortnight. We did the mental health first aid training course and an industry induction course for new employees entering the industry, hosted by myself. We've done our very best to keep abreast of all relevant guidance and facilitated members meeting virtually, sharing experiences, asking questions, and we've continued to formulate best practice and generally support the sector through regular communication. I'd formally like to thank at this point the CPI, the Confederation of Paper Industries, for working closely with us and helping us with our messaging. As an industry, I believe we have a voice. We've been heard by BEIS and government, and importantly, our messaging to the industry during this difficult time has been good. However, nothing compares to face-to-face, and it's brilliant to see you here today, networking, socializing, you know, the way we've done it for 37 years. So on a personal note, I'm delighted to see you all and so glad we're back to this format. Great to see so many people here today. We did have 100, a few fallers at the last hurdle, but we're just above 90 delegates, representing over 50 sheep plants. Now that's a good turnout. You know, to get representation from 50 sheep plants is good. A number of new members and faces as well. I won't name you all as I normally would because we've got a lot to get through today and timing is critical. I would, however, like to make special mention to our event sponsors. These events don't just happen. They take a lot of time, preparation and money. So thank you very much to Konica Minolta and Domino Printing UK. You'll hear more from our sponsors later today. For the benefit of first-timers, there are a few of you about. I can see some unusual faces. I don't mean unusual in that way. For the benefit of first-timers, and those of you who've been asleep for 11 years, Ken, I'm Tim Gray, and I'm chairman of the Sheep Plant Association. And over the last 11 years of my chairmanship, we've really focused the SPA's activities on identifying threats and opportunities, working out how best to cope with those, so the agreed best practice, and how we can install that within our businesses and our plants, ideally at no cost or at low cost and quickly. So that's really what the Sheep Plant Association is about. I liken the SPA to a head office. If you were in a large group of companies, you'd have an HR department at central office, you'd have a well-established health and safety system, you'd have a legal department, you'd have someone there to specialize in mergers and acquisitions. So I liken what we do in the Sheep Plant Association as a head office function. We want to be the go-to resource for help and support in all aspects of your business. And with your input and guidance, we can hopefully make your businesses great businesses and excellent businesses going forward. So I always remind you, and I have to remind you, please don't discuss anything that could be deemed as sensitive under current competition law. Don't talk about pricing and commercial matters, please. That's great. Also, quite a poignant moment yesterday. I just wonder whether we might like to just spare a thought for Jimmy Greaves' family and friends. Very sad that he's passed. He was a good friend to the association, and although he was a reasonable football player, he was also a reasonable cardboard box maker. And I was reminded today that Nick Kirby's father actually supplied machinery to Trio Packing Materials when Jimmy was actually at Chelsea. So he was training, and he told a lovely story when he was with us a few years ago that he was actually doing deliveries on the morning he'd go training. So he'd take the lorry out and he'd take the lorry to Chelsea and actually train there. So yeah, our thoughts do go out to Jimmy's family and friends. So okay, a little bit of housekeeping. There's a little bit more than normal because we're in different times. No fire drills planned today, so if the alarm does go off for a prolonged period, we do need to get out of the building. We're fortunate that most of these doors open and there's exits everywhere. The meeting place is at the front of the hotel and the car park. We take your safety very seriously, so I would just like to reiterate our COVID protocols, if that's okay. With the hotel's help, we've created a lot of space and ventilation, and have access to the outdoor space at breaks and after the conference is finished. We do actually have a CO2 meter, which I can see is green at the moment, so that is actually testing the air to make sure we've got suitable ventilation and we're not getting a build-up of CO2, which would suggest we need to open some windows. So you do have adequate ventilation here. Feel free to wear a mask if you wish. There is no compulsion to, but if you feel that you're in a crowded area by the bar or there's a lot of people in a corridor or whatever, feel free to slip it on. You won't offend anybody, so wear a mask if you feel you need to. There are hand sanitizers dotted around, included up here if anybody would like to use it when they're handling microphones and things like that. Now we have a real need to stay on schedule. I'm already gone on too long. So we have a fantastic lineup of speakers today. You've seen it's a great show. So let's crack on. Our first speaker will be known to most of you. I'm delighted to introduce to you Richard Noble, OBE, who, according to Wikipedia, and I had to write this down, and I quote, he's a Scottish entrepreneur who was holder of the land speed record between 1983 and 1997. He was also the project director of Thrust SSC, the vehicle which holds the current land speed record set at Black Rock Desert, Nevada in 97. And having read Richard's book, which is here, he's also a big risk taker, and I mean a big risk taker. So hopefully he'll share some of those stories with you. He's also, claim to fame, a good friend of Michael Whitaker. So there we go. Excellent. So if the AV is ready, strap yourselves down for a high-octane 110,000 brake horsepower, maximum G, blast to the past and present, and give Richard a rousing SPA welcome.
Hi, good afternoon. I've been looking forward to this. I knew this was going to be a really good show, so I'm going to really do my best for you, and I hope you'll enjoy this.